Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Wednesday, March the 4th, 2020. On today's show, I break down South Carolina's 83-71 win over the Mississippi State Bulldogs on Tuesday night at Colonial Life Arena. I'll give my thoughts, my full takeaways, and just what it means for South Carolina to get the senior night win as they continue their pursuit of the NCAA tournament. Also, talking a little Gamecocks baseball, South Carolina picking up a 3-1 win over Furman in 12 innings. I'll give my takeaways. South Carolina obviously preparing to take on Boston College tonight as well. We'll have a little bit of a midweek recap, if you will, and look ahead to the Boston College game tonight. And it's all brought to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. Guys, SeatGeek, the best ticket buying app by far, the only ticket buying app I use, and the only one that I would recommend. Go download the SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code SPURSUP. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Guys, whether you need tickets to South Carolina Gamecocks sporting events, professional sporting events, concerts, comedy club events, you name it. Doesn't even have to be sports. They're going to have tickets to literally anything and everything you need. They've got a great ticket rating system which rates the tickets for you based on the type of deal you're getting. So, guys, never again do you have to scalp. Do you have to worry about you're overpaying. They do all of the work for you. They're going to make sure, hey, I'm not getting ripped off here. You're going to know exactly where you're sitting, what you're paying for. They're going to really take all of that pressure off you that you feel in the ticket buying process, and they're going to make it super simple, super easy for you, and make sure that when you click that buy button, you know you're making the right decision. So, again, that's our friends over at SeatGeek. Guys, whatever you need tickets to, SeatGeek's going to have it. So go download the SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code SPURSUP, that's SPURSUP, to save $20 off your first purchase. Let's get it. All right, I'm Chris Phillips, Joe's the Spurs Up Show, as always. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a packed show, obviously talking Gamecocks basketball, talking a little bit of baseball as well in the midweek. Hope everybody's having a fantastic hump day, a fantastic Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. You know what's funny? Every show that we drop that comes out on a Wednesday, I think to myself, why did I not say that? For those that don't remember the Vine, the classic Vine that was, it is Wednesday, my dudes. So I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday, a fantastic hump day. Got a lot to talk about, like I said, though. Gamecocks Tuesday night taking down the Mississippi State Bulldogs 83-71 on what was a very fitting night, as it was senior night at Colonial Life Arena. You take a look at this game, you have to start, and I'm going to start here with Maik Kotsar. First off, round of applause. Big kudos, Maik Kotsar. Maik Kotsar, as he's better known in Columbia. 22 field goal attempts, which the most of his career, and again, it's such a fitting number for it being senior night. You feel like that's the night. Hey, it's like Kobe's last game, which RIP, respect to Kobe. But it's like Kobe's last game where he put up like 40 shots or something like that. You almost kind of have to do it. Maik Kotsar, though, with a great night. 22 shots on the floor, but scored 20 points, had 4 assists. Just overall, I mean, I said this on social media, but I can't remember the last time a guy went from literally in the preseason to being considered by a lot of South Carolina fans as maybe somewhat of a liability to a guy who is now, I think, revered by many, many South Carolina fans. So, Maik Kotsar, congratulations, my friend, on a phenomenal career. Obviously, there's more basketball to be played, but his last game at Colonial Life Arena, awesome stuff. Again, he leads South Carolina 20 points, 4 assists. You take a look at this game overall, though, South Carolina, again, you don't have to stress. It was one you had to have. Both of these teams coming in on the bubble. Gamecocks getting to double-digit SEC wins at 10-7. And, overall, I thought it was a complete game played by South Carolina. Mississippi State had the one big run there near the end of the first half. But I thought overall, for the most part, South Carolina looked like the more energetic team, looked like the team that was more prepared to play, to be completely honest with you. And I think that home court advantage, you saw that kind of play into it as well. Waking up on Tuesday morning, South Carolina a 2-point favorite in this game versus when they went to Starkville, I think we're a 5 or 6 point underdog. So obviously that plays a huge role in college basketball. But again, Maik Kotsar leading you with 20 points. Keyshawn Bryant had another phenomenal night. He's a human highlight reel, 12 points. A.J. Lawson hit some nice shots with 12 points. You finally saw a guy, Jair Bolden, get off the schneid. Only had 8 points, but 2 of 3 from long range. South Carolina as a team shooting 46% from free throw range, I should say, and Mississippi State shooting 36% from three-point range. So overall, I mean, that's a huge difference in the game. I thought the Gamecocks clamped down defensively. Like I said, really outside of that one stretch that Mississippi State had. Gamecocks, again, shooting 49%, which is, I mean, phenomenal. You will take those numbers any day of the week. Holding Mississippi State to just 39%. You're going to have a lot of success when you do that. So overall, I mean, listen, we knew it was a game you had to have. Both these teams, again, on the bubble. The Gamecocks somehow, it's so funny, somehow Joe Lunardi continues to put out his bubble watch, and South Carolina continues to be just hanging on by a thread to the last four out. I think the next four out. Is it possible? Yes. Will it be done? I don't know. A lot of people just want to know after every single game, what does South Carolina have to do to get in? What do they have to do to get in? I think at this point, you obviously have to beat Vandy on Saturday, and then you probably got to win 2 or 3 in Nashville to even have consideration. But, I mean, you look at this team right now, an 18-win team, 10-7 in the conference. It is possible. It is possible. Most likely not probable, though. Not something I'm predicting, obviously. But, again, I want to go back to Maik Kotsar and just talk about him a little bit because it's just been crazy that, again, a guy that in the preseason, I wasn't sure would be a starter for this team. I really wasn't. Wasn't sure would be a starter. I thought maybe Micaiah Henry, the Tennessee Tech transfer, was going to come in, take his job, whatever. Boy, I could not have been more wrong. The season that Maik Kotsar has had, fans chanting MVP when he leaves the floor. I mean, who'd have thunk we'd have been at this point in the season? It's so funny, though. This South Carolina team for this season, when you look back at this season, because it's almost over. I know it's crazy to think. It's almost over. This team, when it plays its best basketball, it truly looks like a team that could beat anyone in the entire country. I mean, you look at that game last night against Mississippi State. Some of the runs South Carolina went on. The way they played at certain times. I mean, again, it's just crazy to me to watch this team. Because, again, there's other points where they look as bad as any team in the country. But, last night was an example of what this team can do when it plays some of its best basketball. Again, you get a 12-point win over a solid Mississippi State club. Over a very solid Mississippi State club, I might add. And this is also a huge win, not only for the bubble watch and the tournament and everything, but you're still kind of fighting for that number 4 spot in the SEC. Mississippi State sitting there right there in that fight as well. Florida's in the mix with that. You got a chance. You have a chance to – I mean, right now I think you're sitting in the 6th seed or the 5 seed is right where you are. So, I mean, you have a chance to take hold of that 4 seed. So, you obviously need some stuff to go your way. You need to win. You need to win Saturday. But a huge win for sure. But just what a roller coaster type of season it has been. I mean, again, a team that, like I said, it's playing at its best, I feel could beat almost anyone in the country. Playing at its worst, again, we've seen Stetson and Boston. But this game last night, again, I thought South Carolina looked ready to play. There was no way in my mind they were going to come into senior night and lose on their home floor on senior night. Again, it was almost it was just a perfect script with Maik Kotsar having the night he had and, the team around him playing. That team loves Maik Kotsar. So, again, I thought it was a really solid win for South Carolina. Again, a game we said right after you lost to Mississippi State. It wasn't the end of the world. You have these guys again. You can take them down. And sure enough, you do it. So, really, really good win by South Carolina. Again, you find yourself, like I said, I don't know how, hanging on for dear life, clinging to your possible tournament hopes, clinging to it. But the opportunity is there. The opportunity is there. So, big win for South Carolina. Kudos to Frank Martin, by the way. Major kudos to Frank Martin. The way South Carolina basketball during his tenure, we talk about all the criticism. I'm not I think everybody knows I'm not a fire Frank Martin guy, but I've definitely given my fair share of criticism. But definitely give Frank Martin credit as well for what he has built with this basketball program. It's frustrating at times. It's very frustrating at times. And I still say from what I said last week that there needs to be true yearly expectations put in place. I still believe that. But I can also acknowledge and give credit to, South Carolina, assures themselves of a winning record in the SEC. You have the potential to get to 19 wins on Saturday, maybe 20 wins in the SEC tournament, which is no small feat. So kudos to Frank Martin and that staff, what they built. But again, I thought South Carolina looked very well prepared to play. I thought the defensive intensity was really good. And the Gamecocks, listen, when they get hot from the floor and they're making jumpers, again, as good as any team in the country. And it's something you need to try to carry over and carry in the SEC tournament play as well. But again, Gamecocks getting the big 83-71 win, moved to 18-12 overall, 10-7 in the conference. And again, just holding on for dear life, fighting for that NCAA tournament spot. We'll see if they can do it. Obviously, big game on Saturday and then the SEC tournament. All right, let's talk a little South Carolina baseball. Gamecocks, I'm recording this right after the game, by the way. Carolina getting a 3-1 win over Furman in 12 innings. Obviously we didn't have shows Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to kind of give my comprehensive view, catch you guys up on my thoughts. If you follow on social media, which you probably do, you've seen my post-game reaction, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet. But this game against Furman kind of encapsulated something we've been seeing for the last week or so. Let's just put it that way. The thing with this team, and again, you will take all the wins in the midweek you can get. It's much better than the alternative. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. It's much – listen, South Carolina at one point, it looked like they were going to lose this ballgame. You had Noah Myers make a very uncharacteristic error in center field. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Cam Tringali does an absolute job and strands him at third base. But this team is just really starting to frustrate me offensively. And you saw this in the Clemson series. You saw it tonight, or you saw it last night, and then again tonight against Boston College. We'll kind of see what happens. This is something I'm going to be looking for, really in every game they play, but especially this Boston College game tonight. But where is the timely hitting? Where is the – and more, bigger than that, and what frustrates me more than that, where is the situational hitting? That's I think what really irks me more than anything. You get guys on first and second, nobody out. How do you not score a run in that situation? You have a runner on third, less than 2 outs. How do you not score a run? You get a runner on first and you want to bunt him over and you can't get the damn bunt down. How's that happen? It's the little things like that, like the situational hitting has got to improve. And I'm not saying that it won't, obviously. It's a long season. But when you get in SEC play starts next weekend. It starts next weekend. You're going to have to be better situationally in the SEC. There's no question. You're just not going to get away with it. You're not going to make a living not capitalizing on opportunities that you have at the plate. Outside of Wes Clark and Andrew Eister, and maybe you could even throw Colin Burgess in there, and I think Jeff Heinrich might be starting to heat up, but this lineup is definitely struggling. There's a lot that is left to be desired with this lineup. And I think this lineup can be better. I really do think it can. But this is not going to be a lineup that hit the home runs like it did last year. Again, outside of Eister and Clark, to me, outside of that, you don't really, you need to get Malone back. That's a big thing. You need to get Brennan Malone back. But outside of those two guys, guys, I'm just going to say it. Your two transfers haven't really panned out how you thought. Bryant Bowen and Dallas Beaver, started out okay, but they've just completely fallen off. And so outside of those two guys, you're going to have to produce runs. You're going to have to manufacture runs somehow, some way. You're going to have to. And again, we'll see if they can do it tonight against Boston College. But I've given this team the benefit of the doubt more often than not. I really have. And I'm still, again, I'm not saying jump ship on the season or anything crazy, but I want to see more. I want to see more out of these guys. One thing I want to see, too, and this is something I picked up kind of over the weekend as well. And listen, I always tell people, when people question when people question South Carolina's, no matter the sport, their effort, their want to, that's a very fine line that you're walking, because you're not in those players' heads. You're not in that locker room. You're not in that dugout. You're not on that sideline, whatever. So it's hard to say, oh, they didn't want it bad enough, or they weren't locked in. Let's not draw all those conclusions. But I want to see this team have a little more fun. Whatever they've got to do, Whatever they've got, I don't care if it's a spirit stick thing, if it's something silly, stupid, whatever. Have a little fun with it. Loosen up. It's a game. It's a game. Have some fun. Have fun at the plate. There's just too many times, and I see that in the bullpen too, with guys throwing balls, with guys walking guys. Guys, it's a game. Have confidence. Have swag. You're at South Carolina for a reason. Your stuff's good enough. Your bats, your hands are good enough. I want to see the guys have a little more fun. Again, I'm not saying they're not having fun right now, but I want to see this team have a little more fun and get out of their own heads. Again, you look at the bullpen. I'm still not like panicking because I know how good this stuff is. And again, hopefully that's one thing I saw from the game Tuesday night against Furman. Hopefully Graham Lawson is okay. Hopefully he's okay. Went out with the trainer. I don't know if he strained something. It didn't like any type of serious arm injury or anything, but you just hate to see that either way because he's a guy that is literally coming back from an arm injury. But like a Danny Lloyd, his stuff is good. I mean, that's big-time stuff he has. But our guys are trying to live on the corners, and they're trying to be too perfect, it seems at times. At the plate, too. Take what the pitcher gives you and go with it. Make a swing. Pitchers, let your stuff work. You know, I thought Cam Tringali's outing was a major positive after he had a very bad outing against Clemson. I thought Parker Coyne did some nice things for you. TJ Shook, I think, needs to pitch more. 100% needs to pitch more. He needs to pitch. TJ Shook needs to pitch more. Needs to pitch more impactful innings, if that makes sense. He needs to pitch more meaningful innings. That's the word I'm looking for. More meaningful innings. But again, I don't want to spend this entire time bitching and moaning because you get the 3-1 win. You get the 3-1 win over Furman, but bats have got to come alive. Bats have got to start coming together. And listen, again, kudos to the pitching staff because, listen, some nights your pitching's going to pick you up. Some nights your hitting's going to pick you up. This was one of those nights where your pitching needed to pick you up until your offense got it going. You get the 2-run homer from Wes Clark. But the timely hitting has to get better. The situational hitting has to get better. Has to. And I think the mental approach has got to get better, just from everyone. Guys, nobody wants to have a bad season. We get it. But you can't play that way. Have some fun. Loosen up. It's a game. And you're good. You're a good player. If you're at South Carolina, you're a damn good player. Have some fun with it. The game is hard enough. Don't let it eat you alive in the process. The game's hard enough. It is. Have some fun with it. That's all I'm saying. So, again, South Carolina getting the 3-1 win, and then you take on Boston College, which, you know, will be an interesting game. 7 o'clock first pitch at Founders Park. I'll be in the building. You really need to beat Boston College and sweep this weekend. I mean, you really do. You really, really do. Coming off back-to-back series losses, one of them to your arch rival, one of them to Northwestern, who, by the way, Northwestern got swept last weekend to USF. You need to get on a little bit of a run here. Because, again, next weekend, you got Tennessee. You know what Tennessee did last night? I forget who the team they played was, but they won 28-2. Tennessee's a good baseball team. You're going to have a challenge. So, again, happy to get the win. You get back to winning ways, beat Furman, but the offense has just got to get better. It's got to. So, we'll see if it does. That's going to do it all for me, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in again. Thank you, our friends at SeatGeek, for supporting the show. If you haven't done so, again, go download their app, SeatGeek, or go to SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code SPURSUP. That's SPRSUP to save $20 off your first purchase. Again, guys, tickets to everything. I use them all the time to get all my tickets. They're a lifesaver. So, again, SeatGeek.com or download the app. Use the promo code SPURSUP. That's SPRSUP to save $20 off your first purchase. As always, guys, I'm Chris Phillips of the Spurs Up Show. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.